I like this.
So how's everyone doing?
People.
Well, very well.
Good. Good, man. And just for the listeners, for them to be aware, we're trying a new platform right now where we're recording audio and video for the first time. So hopefully, if this works properly, you'll be able to see us recording our podcast episode and then the future Take Flight merchandise, which is coming on the way. So
you made me look like the odd one out.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put mine on.
So, how you doing, Olu? You good? I know no one really asks you, so I'm going to make a point out of asking you every time. So how you feeling?
You're the only one that cares, man. You're the only one.
How you feeling, bro?
I'm good. I can't complain. Good. So welcome to episode number 33. How's everyone doing?
We are flying through these episodes, guys. This is impressive. I say this every episode, I know, but still.
Great. You're here with myself, Olu, Shuwel, Pabilo, and Daniel. On this week's episode, we're going to be talking about health. How much do we prioritize it? Is it important to us? Or is it something that we only prioritize when it's too late? So we'll be talking about that. Then the book review will be taken by Shuwel. So stay tuned and let's get started.
Take off, take flight with you. For we never fly, but we're flying.
So, health. How's everyone doing? I know most of us in this group are now turning 30, so you're having like a aching back. How's your knees? You know, I could talk about my knees. My knees are not good. I've got one bad knee.
I think in this group, I think out of a total of 8 kneecaps in this group, I think about 7 of them are weak. So I think we're all there.
I'm not even 7. I'm sure it's 6.
Oh boy.
Oh shoot.
But I think actually that classes you as actually disabled.
No. That's not my portion. In Jesus' name, that is not my portion.
But if you have a long-standing injury such as your knee and it still persists, you're actually considered to be.
But I still play football. Do you? When last you kick a ball?
No. What I'm saying, that doesn't mean I'm not saying you can't play sports, but it can mean you're technically impaired and disabled.
And to be honest, Olu, now
you can start parking at disabled spots.
Exactly. I was going to say nowadays being disabled is not necessarily. Nowadays being disabled isn't necessarily a bad thing because that means you can park wherever you want, whenever you want. So I'll try and leverage that if you can.
Disability is just a physical mental condition that prevents or movement or your mobility. So it could be anything. It could be, isn't it? Dyslexia is classed as a disability. So there are many.
I was thinking the one. I was thinking
someone's arrived. Hello. Hello.
Someone did some free work before.
I'm a man of few words.
Exactly. But
so
I think so the health and rest topic. So why I wanted to
real quick. Just one point. This can stay recording. We're only a couple minutes into this video stuff. I'm feeling it, B.
Oh mate, it's solid. It's solid.
Feeling it after you drop the mic. I saw Oli's face when you knocked that mic over and you start switching. Oli was like, "Are you being for real?"
Yeah, no, that should be kept in. That's natural. That's us.
Okay, let's continue.
Video.
So, Shuwel, when you're thinking about this topic, you mentioned health and rest. So why don't we start with the rest element? So do you guys to be honest, like you get enough rest? Do you feel like you rest effectively? How many hours sleep do you guys get?
Can I just say, I just woke up from 8 hours sleep. I went to bed at midnight last night, and I was like, do you know what? I know we're recording the podcast tomorrow at 8 a.m. Sorry, 9 a.m. Basel time. But I'm not going to set my alarm because there's no way I'm going to sleep through until 9.
Oh, you're still late.
Went to sleep, and I woke up at 8:55, and I bounced out of bed feeling good. And I realized, and this is something that I've been trying to do better, is I personally don't sleep enough. I'm trying to do it.
What's enough?
For me, enough would be 6-7 hours. If I'm waking up at 4:30, if I can get into bed by 9 o'clock, that's a solid night. But during the weekdays, it's difficult.
That's a push, man.
Yeah. But how about you guys? Do you guys think you're resting effectively?
Nah. I know that.
Yeah.
Nah.
But what would be a good?
Time out. It sounds like you got a lot on your mind. You're stressed out because when you answer that question, it seems like you have the time to go to bed at 9-10, and maybe you are, but actually during the night you're waking up, cold sweat,
No.
Panic attack. You
That
cool?
only happened to me. That only happened to me once when I was in. I think some of you guys know when I was working in Paris. When I was working in Paris, I woke up in like hot sweat.
So,
I didn't know about the cold
I
sweat.
had that last year. I didn't know about Paris though. I know Paris was a madness, but I didn't know.
Nah, Paris was a madness. So let me quickly mention that story. So I
Yes,
remember I was working in Paris. What was it? Maybe 4 years ago, and I just started in a new role. I was going to be there for 6 months. It was intense. When I'm telling you intense, one of the women in our team went on maternity leave. My manager went on was out for a couple of months for a knee surgery. So I just joined the team. I was new. I was reporting directly to the executive of the team. And I just come out of university maybe a year ago. And every day was just stressful. When I mean stressful, like there was always something I wasn't doing right or some additional pressure, or it was just painful. And on the side, I was also doing my qualifications. So I remember one time that I said it's not healthy. It's not healthy. Was I woke up, I think it was like 3 a.m. in the morning, like sweating, like hot sweat. And I was like, I jumped out of bed, like, okay, I need to get to work, thinking that I was like running late. And I looked at the time and I was like, oh, it's Saturday. No, it was 3 a.m. It was 3 a.m. on a Thursday or whatever. And I was like, wait, what the hell's going on? Tried to go back to sleep. And all that was going through my mind was like my to-do list. Like, okay, I need to do this. Okay, how would I do this? I was just thinking about everything that I had to do. And I said to myself, oh, look, this is not healthy. Like, if I had to go through that sort of pressure and stress for a long period of time, it's just not healthy at all. So the way I tried to get around it was, one, talking to someone and saying, hey, this is what I'm going through. These are the pressures I'm going through. Talking to my team and my manager and saying, hey, I'm covering the work of 3 people at the moment. Like, this is not mentally or physically sustainable. But I said to myself, if I knew that was going to happen for a long period of time, I would have quit that job, because the most important thing is your health. Like, if I knew that I was doing that for a year, 2 years, it's not feasible. You need to be able to sleep. You need to be able to get enough rest. Otherwise, your work is going to suffer, and then your health is going to suffer as well. So, yeah.
And it has a knock-on effect in all other areas of your life, because it's not just health, it's also kind of your mood, your well-being, how you're around others as well. So it has a knock-on effect. But Ollie, going back to the question then, do you think now you're resting effectively? You said no, right?
Nah, I don't. I probably get 6 hours sleep on a good day, but most of the time it's not like I don't sleep throughout the night. I think it's also because I sleep quite late. And I'm just not. I want to be able to wake up in the morning after 6 hours sleep and be like, yes, I'm ready for the day. But sometimes,
I find 6 hours suffices.
But you find out when you say you sleep for 6 hours, it's not solid 6 hours. Like, you're not getting really a good 6 hours of sleep. You know how there's that app that you could track when you're really in like a deep sleep and when you're moving around and you're not really in a good. What about yourself, Daniel?
Well, I was going to say that we need to say that there's a difference between sleep and there's a difference between rest. Sleep is a very specific state of your brain, and if you don't sleep at all, that's when you become to stop functioning properly and makes you completely dysfunctional. Whereas rest is different in the sense that your brain is not recovering in this specific state, and if you don't rest, you just feel exhausted physically. You can still function, but not as effectively. So I think we need to, distinguish the two: sleeping and resting. Resting can be done without you lying down. It can be done without you shutting your eyes. It can be almost in a sense of you sitting on a couch and reading a book intensively, because it's using a different part of your brain. You're resting. You're not. But sleep is different because if you deprive yourself of sleep, that's when it can actually damage your health. And if it's done for a prolonged period of time, that's when you wake up in the morning feeling very lethargic. You're not able to function properly, and it has an overall impact on your mental health. If we talk about rest, I'm able to rest, and that's something I'm able to do quite well. Conversely, we've talked about sleep.
You've been able to do that from uni. uni days you've been able to rest well.
Yeah, I've always made sure that I've been able to rest, because if I don't rest, I get very, not moody, but become short-tempered or very abrupt with my words and my answers, and when people want something.
Yeah, I've been on a plane with you, Daniel, when there's too much turbulence. When turbulence has woken a brother up, you don't want to be sat next to Daniel. You do not want to be sat next to him.
Well, you don't want to sit next to Shuwel, because Shuwel's sleeping. but when we talk specifically about sleep, that's an area where I struggle, because I can't sleep for a long period of time at one go. Like, even if we speak about last night, and it's always specifically on a Friday night in general, I'm able to go to sleep. Like, I think maybe it's the end of the week feeling, so I won't stay up crazy late, but I went to bed maybe 10:30, 11 last night. I think, okay, yeah, I have just, good solid hours sleep till 7, 8. But my body will naturally wake up around, I think I woke up at 5:30 this morning. And going back to sleep just wasn't possible. So I lay down in bed for a bit, and then I got up, I did a workout, and I just started doing other things. I might start ironing my shirts on a Saturday morning, like 5, 6 a.m. just because I can't force myself back to sleep. But during the week, I usually head up to bed between 9:30 and 10. And I wake up about 5:30, but I would say my quality of sleep is poor. I'm able to get to sleep, but my quality of sleep isn't what I would like it to be.
And do you track your sleep, Daniel, through like Fitbit or anything like that?
No, I try not to wear any devices when I go to bed. Try just to disconnect, put my phone, obviously my phone's to the side, face down. My watch is off, my wrist. And even if I wake up during the night and it's still dark outside, I refuse to look at the time, because I don't want to know what the time is. I don't want to see any messages or any notifications on my phone. So I just try and go back to sleep fairly swiftly. But I will be honest, usually when I wake up in the night, I always use the toilet.
So don't you have a condition?
No. What do you mean?
As to why you can't sleep? Why you guys laughing? As to why you can't
Because
sleep?
because the way you're saying it, I was like, I don't know if this is a joke.
No,
or
but
if it's serious.
I feel like we've spoken about you're not able to sleep at night because you've got something going on, or not?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm fine to sleep at night. I'm cool to sleep. It's just staying awake. Even Olu could probably confirm this. Even when we were away, I woke up really early. I'll be awake and then I'll just get up.
I think it's better as well. If apparently, like, once you're awake, it's impossible to go back to sleep. You're better off just staying up and just getting on with your day, whatever time it is.
So wait. So does anyone in this group get good quality sleep?
I can remember the last time I had a good sleep. I can tell you hands down. I can tell you the date and the time.
But you don't.
I feel like
P, do you get quality sleep?
I get good enough sleep where I'm good to go when I wake up at 4:15. So
what would be your advice for the rest of us? That's not like
before that. But P, when you wake up at around the 4 o'clock mark, is that when you wake up? Is that rest and sleep enough to sustain you for the whole day?
Yeah, because now I'm in the routine. But what I will say is, if I'm not in bed by 10:30, I'm in the red zone. So I think you have to make sure you're getting a minimum of say 6.5 hours sleep. Otherwise, what's interesting, if for example I sleep at 10, wake up at 4, feeling great. If I sleep at say 10:45, 11, I'm in trouble. I may not even wake up at 4. And when I do wake up, I feel very sluggish and very tired.
Yeah.
Do you also think that's a subconscious program that you've had in the brain that if you're in sleep by 10?
Potentially also. But I like one time myself and Shaw were talking to like 11:30, 12, and I think woke up at 4:30 and thought, oh, why am I doing this? whereas if I'd gone to bed at 10, I'm ready to go. So but I don't know, to Olu's point, my advice is just I think, but the thing about there's this book I think we spoke about before called Sleep, but I think people need different sets of hours in order to whatever works best for them. So if you can operate on 6.5, work on that. Some people need about 7.5 to 8.
There's something, I don't know if I shared it with you, but I'll try and find it and share it with you. Maybe we can post it. It's talking about sleep, and it's in reference to even when you're on holiday, even when you're not doing anything, say you're not in the working week, it's the weekend or on holiday, continue to keep that same routine. continue to wake up
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
same
that's
time,
definitely, yeah.
continue to get the same, go to bed at the same time, and try and stay in that routine, whether you're working, not working, or whatever it may be. And that's something I don't have a choice. It just naturally happens to me.
This is why I was telling you to continue the 4 a.m. even on the weekend.
What? Sure.
No, because the point I'm saying, listen, we said it before. Get up at 4 always.
Yeah.
If you go back to bed in 2 hours, 3 hours, fine. But keep 4 a.m., 4:15, 4:30 as your official forever alarm clock.
No,
Anyway,
I agree. I think it's important also to have the consistency. But I guess for me, the reason why I'd rather stick to Monday to Friday is because having 2 days out of consistency, waking up a little bit later at say 6 or 7 or 8, like today, I don't think that throws me off so much to get back into the routine on Monday. But say if I was taking a break for 2 weeks and then trying to get back into it, it's difficult to get back into it. Does that make sense? That's what I find anyway. And also because it's over 2 days, by the time it gets to Monday, I feel well rested enough and motivated that I want to get back into the early wake up on Monday as well. So
you know what I think what we all need to do, plus advice for others, I think we need to spend more time finding out why sleep is really important. Because I don't know if similar to therapy, I don't know if we spent enough time delving into that topic to understand the science behind why it's important to get, say, 7 hours sleep every night. Because Daniel mentioned that you're having your brain cells repaired and it's working on whatever happened in the last 24 hours and you're giving it that time and space.
But don't you feel like people know? Like people?
No, I think
people do.
Know.
I think people have,
I feel
for
like
example,
everyone knows because of the fact that go a week, with only like 4 hours. Because I think all of us in this group have probably had to work on a project or done something where we've gone a week with only minimum amount of sleep. Yeah. And you could tell how mentally, physically draining you are or drained you are. So I think people know the side effects of not, or maybe they don't know for a long sustained time, like what health issues it can give you. But for a short period of time, I think people know the side effects.
So I'll give you. So I tell you what I think will happen once people start to look into, like even for example, studying certain athletes and the times they sleep and also throughout the day. I think what happens is the following: if people look more into the importance of sleep, the first thing they're going to do is probably going to check their mattress in their bed. Is it good enough? They might end up getting.
That's why I need to change, bro. I bought some it's a serious thing, like. I bought a mattress, brand new when I moved into my place. Bought a mattress, but the firmness of the mattress makes a difference. People's back and spin that needs differently to a different
trust me,
different mattress. And when people are like, oh yeah, I don't want to spend that. No. You spend how many hours you spend sleeping? Listen. You spend a crazy amount of time sleeping over your lifetime. You need to invest in your mattress. So that's the next thing I'm investing in, and I don't care if it's I tell you, the quality, it makes a difference.
But the thing is, but that's also a large factor, a driving factor as to why perhaps the sleep is broken or you're not getting a good sleep.
No, for sure.
Because the mattress is not calibrated to your particular body and how you sleep.
Sometimes you've stayed in hotels where you jumped on that mattress and you're like, damn.
Wow, let me tell you something now, guys.
Heavenly.
The Sheraton in Stockholm. I'll leave it there. if you just listen to what I'm saying, I say it again for the listeners. The Sheraton in Stockholm. I found myself on the checkout. I said to the lady, "Listen, where do you get your mattresses from?" I'm not playing around. So then I started Google searching it. It was so powerful. If you sat on the edge of the bed, you wanted to lie down. If you lay down, I found that. If you lay down,
what's happened to me?
Okay, if you lay down, you're sleeping.
Sounds kind of dangerous.
You're always sleeping. I'm like, what time of the day is you're sleeping? It was quite thick, but it was just the way in which it married your body when you lay down. Oh my god. Oh my god.
How much are they paying you for the shower?
I don't know how much. I don't know, but the mattress is 3,000. But I believe it's worth it. We haven't bought it ourselves. What we've bought is another trick for people listening as well. You may not actually. We wanted to go change our mattress about 1.5 years ago, and we were prepared to spend whatever was needed. But then the guy said, "Try a topper." I don't know if you guys know about a topper.
Yeah.
Try a topper, because the mattress that we had, sure, we're still working with the IKEA mattress we bought years ago.
No, bro. I upgraded when I came back from Japan.
What, you didn't shout? You didn't tell me no. Anyway, no, but But I would wake
got a
up.
deal, 2 for 1.
Mate, you know what's funny? Yeah, this is another thing as well. Is that we sometimes get used to a particular standard and we just roll with it. I would wake up in the morning sometimes and my waist will feel detached from my legs. You might know about that feeling, innit? And I'd work it out like this, yeah. and then Lauren because now Lauren's moved over to Basel. She was like, babe, your back's not right every time you wake up. I said, no, it's mine, man. I just got to cook it out.
This is mattress. I'm sure she was probably the first one. She's probably the first one to be like, this mattress is whack.
So I didn't pay attention until she said, yo, my back is hurting as well. I said, you sure? No, man, mattress is cool, dog. It's been serving me for years, bro. Every morning.
It's the whole point, years.
The thing is, I know especially when it comes to spending that type of money, because mattresses are kind of heavy as well. P would have been like, nah, we're cool. We can stay operating this one.
I'm like, yo, I've been enjoying this. By the way, this mattress is poor, fam. When you on the balance of mattresses out there, this mattress is not a good mattress. It's the mattress that I think they kind of throw in when you buy a bed. So yeah, take that one. Yeah. So then we bought a topper, change the game. So I think
you're advised to change your mattress every 10 years. Yeah. And even with that, when you something I do every 6 months, you should turn your mattress over. So flip it over. So I even do head to toe flip over so that it evens out, because obviously after a while you're sleeping on it.
But Dan, if you got the mattress from IKEA, I doubt it's one of those.
Oh, okay.
I doubt it's one of you.
You really can't flip it. You really can't flip it.
It's gonna have the springs in the back.
No. You could. But no. So I think question is, we know sleep is important. How do you improve the quality? I think one of the steps people start to look into their mattress, their bed. In that book, it also spoke about like understanding your bed is only a place to rest. So it's almost like making what the athletes do is they almost have they don't have really a bedroom, they just have a rest room. So I guess I don't know if we all have the luxury of as many rooms, but they literally would walk into a room and in that room is only the beds. No wardrobes, no cupboards, no nothing. So I think we need to kind of like, I don't know, put sleep on like this special pedestal and say, when I lie down, it really is to rest and get good sleep.
So let's switch it up, because I think we talked a lot about rest. What about health? Because I think we've got another sort of 5-10 minutes. We can just quickly discuss how is everyone's health. I know that's also a very personal question. I can talk about myself. I've got one bad knee from excessive use. And my short football career, that's sort of what's caused my bad knee. What about the rest of you guys?
I think me and Shuwel have mentioned this time and time again. It's funny because when we talk about developing goals and when you start the new year, yes, health is on there, but I don't think it's on there with, I don't know. It's not, well, at least speak for myself, the same intention as let's get a couple of these property deals, or let's climb the ladder at work or do. But what's funny is once your health goes, when you're lying on a hospital bed or you're lying in your bed at home, you're not thinking about anything else apart from getting back to 100%. All of a sudden now, those big goals are irrelevant. Whatever goals you had at work, you don't really care anymore. It's like we don't.
So currently, P, where does health fit on your list? Like,
is
it number one? Is that number one priority for you? 2, 3? Where does it currently fit?
So what I need to do with health, because I go to the gym not necessarily to work out, but more for a mental. It's for a mental game. Because who wants to wake up? Yeah, because who wants?
I thought it was for vanity. I thought it was so that you could look good.
What do you mean, bruv? Vanity.
I thought it was only because you wanted to look good.
Oh man, I don't need to go to the gym. No, but it's so I go more for the mental game. Who wants to work out 7 o'clock in the morning? No one. And so I'm just basically battling with my mind to go. But where I need to improve on health is, one, study better diets. I tend to eat whatever, whenever, and try to convince myself, okay, no, I'm not eating as much, and this is healthier. Look at vitamins. I have a bit of cod liver oil in the morning, but I'm sure there's other stuff out there. And then also what I don't do, and I haven't done in years, and it's bad because I say on purpose, but the appointment was in my calendar and I just thought, yeah, whatever. I don't go for checkups. So my dad, when I was in the UK last time, he said, listen, and I see the run that you've been on for the last couple of years. I think you've been at places of high stress. He's a doctor. So he said, I need you to go and get a checkup. I said, I need you to go check your blood. your sugar levels, everything. And I was like, yeah, man, cool. But you see me though, I'm good in it. He says, no, I need you to go and get a checkup. So I booked the appointment, but then I kind of moved it. Oh yeah, then it was supposed to be last week. I reschedule it. So I think that's the area of health where I need to start improving, because otherwise,
there's an epidemic in terms of, especially in the Black community, where we don't do a good job of getting us, like, going to the doctors and getting checkups. The only time we really go is when something's either falling off or we're like really in pain, where we're like, yo, it's time to go. But it's not something that we need to do. And I feel like, one, I don't really understand. I've never really understood the reason. I guess I need to do the research in there, because obviously the standard of health, and especially for minorities, hasn't always been the best in terms of history. But then also is, how do you change that stereotype and change that mindset? Because as you mentioned before, the most important thing is your health, man. Everything else you can't achieve unless that health box is ticked. And you never really know until it's...
Yeah, it's also funny. And let Shuwel go next. It's also funny because, let's say for example, you're on a good run, right? So you're fortunate enough to not have any injuries, but then something happens, boom. And then you have that realization, wow, like health is so important. What's funny is, even when you get back to 100%, you're going on like you was before. So I guess the question I'm trying to ask myself also is, to your point, Olu, how do you change the mindset so that now I'm checking myself every 6 months? I am making sure that
you should treat yourself like a car. MOT is done every single year. Servicing is done every single year. Your body should be the same.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm a Mercedes, because I can do like
but Mercedes, no, but that's your life, that's your lifespan. But when you talk about servicing and making sure there's it's sustainable, your car is MOT'd every single year, road tax every year, servicing every single year. And Warren Buffett, in one of his documentaries, spoke about treat your body like a car. Imagine you can only buy one car and you're stuck with it for the rest of your life. Treat it well, service it, MOT. He said that's like your body. You only have one body for your whole life. Be conscious of what you feed it. Be conscious of how you treat it. Be conscious of what you do with it. So even as your body, you might be on a good run, but it's still important that once a year you get your, cholesterol, blood sugar levels, your blood checked, everything like that.
Do you get yours checked in every year?
Yeah, I get mine checked every year.
Dan ain't playing. I know. Dan does.
I get mine checked every year, and even because of my back, I've been seeing the osteopath and everything like that, and I got my bloods checked. And I think that the blood, I was like, when I saw the statement, the bill for the bloods that he took, it cost £500. 500, and I was like, whoa. Luckily, I've got private medical insurance, because
I can check your bill for 500. I can tell you if it's the right color. I can tell you, it's red.
That's the whole problem.
I thought we were going to say I can take your blood for you. Don't worry, I can do it. I got the equipment in my house. No, but Daniel, why did it cost 500?
Because it was done privately. It wasn't done on the NHS. It was done privately, and what he was targeting as well for each blood test. So it was quite hefty.
Run the results then, innit? So what was it last year? What was it this year? What's going on?
I've got them all written down somewhere. But the reason I
can send it to you afterwards.
The reason I do it, it's not like I choose to do it, it's because of my medical insurance. It's encouraged, and you get rewards for doing the health checkups and stuff like that. So that's why I'm more inclined to do it. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but I don't know if I definitely would.
So would you say people should consider private insurance?
Oh yeah, I would definitely agree with it, because not only do you have there's two things. There's the NHS, which I applaud, and I really am proud of the healthcare system that we have in the UK. We're very fortunate to have free healthcare, but also having the option to go private at times when may be needed for a much more serious matter. You can't put a price on it, because even with the treatment I've been receiving on the NHS, I'd have been waiting for a very, very long time. And even with my back, I remember Shuwel saying, go to the doctor and told them that, exaggerate how your back is so that they can give you an MRI. I still didn't even get an MRI, didn't even get an X-ray with the doctor, because from going private, I found out how much the cost is with the NHS and how much it is going private. So the NHS are charged for it, but they don't want to pay that cost and only want to do it in dire situations. Whereas when I did the MRI, like even on the NHS with the MRI, you can have an MRI scan, but your results might not be available for 5 or 6 weeks. I did it on private. MRI scan, the results were ready next morning. So there is definitely a cost benefit.
I've got a funny story about NHS, but I'll leave it for another episode. Let me pass on to Shuwel. What are you going to say, Shuwel?
Because I was thinking that I think especially when we talk about health, and I think the point that you mentioned, Ollie, about the kind of our cultures that we growing up in, maybe with our parents, was health really a priority or not? I think there's probably a lot to unpack that we could even spend a whole episode talking about. So maybe what we can do is, because I think we've had a great conversation, because it starts with, I think everything starts with rest and sleep, which we all said that we're kind of doing okay, but could probably get better at. And then how this leads into knock-on issues and health. But I think we've had a great conversation, something that we can definitely build on another episode, and especially health in our cultures, because I've seen a massive lack of focus. If I think about my dad, if I think about his friends, of just working too much, not sleeping enough, and eating not very healthy food, and the knock-on effects it has 20, 30 years on. So I think we could definitely unpack that on another episode. So basically, guys, I think to close the episode, what's the recommendation that either we will give to others, or most importantly from what it sounds like, what we would give to ourselves to try and rest more effectively or sleep more effectively? What are you guys going to change?
It sounds simple, but there's meaning to it. Is be deliberate. Sometimes what we find ourselves is just falling asleep, or just not falling asleep, but kind of it's time to sleep because it's getting dark. But no, I'm actually going to put in my calendar 9 o'clock or 9:30, sleep, go to bed. So it's kind of fix it like a meeting. Make it deliberate.
Yeah. For me, in connection to the Paris story, is know your limits. So if you're going through a period of time where you know your sleep is being affected, so you're not getting enough sleep, you're extremely stressed, you need to change something in your environment. So don't be afraid to talk to someone or stand up and change your current environment if you know it's impacting your health, or rest.
I think from my side, it's just going to try and, similar to P, try and consistently go to bed a little bit earlier. I think I try to cram a lot in the day, but if I really took a step back, I'm sure there's parts of that day that I could strip away or realize this actually isn't a priority. So let me just get to bed by 9:30, 10 consistently Monday to Friday to get that sleep, because it does have a knock-on effect, as Ollie mentioned in his Paris experience earlier. Daniel, to close out.
Create something that works for yourself, and don't overexert yourself, and listen to your body.
Daniel, I was expecting a quote, man.
Yeah, I was like a quote,
man.
A little explanation of the quote. Who is the author of the quote? I was expecting a.
I am the author.
No, played. Okay, dope. Okay, so let's move on to the book review, which will be taken by Shuwel. So looking forward to it.
Right. So this is sponsored by Take Flight Podcast, and because we're doing it on video for the first time, this is the book that I'll be reviewing today. So this book is by an amazing author called James Clear, who actually is a friend of a friend, which I found out recently. So Atomic Habits. Now,
I thought you were going to say a friend.
A friend of a friend. It's a network effect. So actually, before I go into it, who in this group has read this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear? I know Pabilo has. Anyone else?
Nah.
No. Okay. So Atomic Habits is kind of a personal development book, but it's very well written, very easy to understand, and very effective in terms of the tips that it gives, right?
And also new concepts as well.
Yes, exactly. New concepts are like, when you read them, what I love is when you read a new concept and it's so easy to understand, it's like, why haven't we been doing that the whole time? So Atomic Habits is basically an easy and proven way to build good habits and break the bad ones. Now, when you guys think of the term atomic habits, what comes to mind, or what do you think that means?
I think of like an element, science, chemistry, an atom, to be honest.
And what do you think, Ollie? I'm not going to ask P because I know P's read the book.
Yeah, exactly what Daniel said, but the second half.
Are you sure?
We should have asked Olu first. That's a no. We'll ask Olu first next time. Whenever anyone is asked a question after someone else, they're like, "Yeah, I would have said exactly what that guy said."
But no. You always say, "Oh, exactly what that person said."
but.
and then you add on top of it to make
So
it.
what did you add, Olu? Because we were laughing at that stage.
Yeah, so you take on the habits element of it. So is how do you consistently do something over a period of time? So and then I think it says you can only create a new habit after like 21 days. So yeah, that element as well.
So you guys are pretty much bang on. So atomic habit. If we split the word atomic, well, I say you guys. I think Daniel was bang on. I think Olu
He was bang on about the first part. Okay, cool, whatever. Cool. Haters are gonna hate.
So the atomic part. So atomic basically means an extremely small amount of a thing. So the single unit of a larger system, and also the source of immense power or energy. So building on a little bit what Daniel was saying. And then habit, which I think we're more than familiar with, is a routine or practice performed regularly and automatic response to a specific situation. So what James... Sorry?
Which was what Olu was touching upon.
Yeah, of course. What is it? Which is what Olu was touching upon. So it's a good...
You and your ego, bro. Just chill out, man.
So basically, this book is a revolutionary system to get 1% better every day. So all the things that James Clear is talking about in this book, it's not something which on its own will change your life considerably, but these are small, tiny habits that will help have a compound effect. So people think that when you want to change your life, right, that you need to think big, but James Clear has discovered a different way. Now, the way that he has discovered is that he knows that real change comes from the compound effect of hundreds of small decisions. So, for example, doing 2 push-ups every day, or waking up 5 minutes earlier, or reading 1 more page of that book, or sending that 1 additional email at the end of the day of a task that you know you've been leaving on your to-do list for a long time. So in this book, what James Clear does is he reveals how exactly these small changes can grow into life-altering outcomes. He gives a few simple life hacks, which I can go on to later on. And what I love about this book is he combines the life hacks with actual psychology and neuroscience to explain why they matter as well. And as well as that, he combines all of this with stories from Olympic gold medalists, leading CEOs, and distinguished scientists. And everything is to stay productive, motivated, and happy. Now, I can give an example of... Give me 1 sec to get my Post-its. Okay, boom, got it. Right, this is actually, and just to prove to the people now we have videos, I have lots of Post-its in this book, so it has been read. So what I actually love about this book is, as I mentioned before, it's very easy to read. And at the end of every chapter, it also has a summary as well. So sometimes what I do is when I'm reading, I kind of put a Post-it or make an underline. But this basically, as long as you have the chapter summaries covered at the end, then you're good. So one thing that I love is, if you really want to change your behavior, one of the key messages of the book is if you really want to change the behavior, and I think we spoke about it in the episode of removing the TV from the room, which Pabilo did, is always easier to change your environment than it is to muster up even more self-motivation in yourself to actually get a task done. So what does this mean? This means, for example, if you find yourself that you're coming home from work and you're watching TV, and you've realized for yourself that watching TV isn't helping you get to where you want to be, and you're spending too much time in front of the TV, instead of coming home from work every day and seeing the TV in the corner of your eye and being tempted to turn it on, make your environment easier and move that TV downstairs or into another room. Or another example is, if you want to start eating healthier and you find yourself having too many packets of Doritos every day, instead of buying 20 packs of Doritos and leaving it in your cupboard, make your life easier and just do not buy snacks that you know that you will have, because you know that that's not getting you towards the goal that you want to be.
So just removing the temptation, or
removing the temptation. Exactly. Because the best way to make a behavior change is to make whatever you're trying to change, make it invisible. So you're not even having to think about it. And once that habit is formed, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, the reason I just want to add a little bit, the reason why this one is, it's so crucial is because we always try to up our self-motivation, up our discipline, and up our level of, discipline and resistance. And that's always been the path that we always take. Mm-hmm. We leave the environment as it is and we say, okay, I need to improve my discipline. I need to improve my self-motivation. And actually, this has helped me to understand or try a different way is adjust your environment, move things around in your sitting room, take things out of your bedroom, take things, and that would allow you to then, you don't have to then sort of be so hard on yourself with discipline in order to get the results you're looking for. So it's an interesting switch, but it's more powerful than what we've done in the past.
It's just like it's the same with like your circle. Like if you know your circle is distracting you or making you do like
Switch it
you
up.
might have to switch up. You have to leave that circle. You have to unfortunately move your separate way.
Quick.
Quick,
Exactly,
did you say? Did you say quick?
When it comes to the circle, quick.
Thanks for keeping me in your circle, man.
Thanks for stressing it. Quick.
Less than 24 hours decision. Boom.
Do we even get? Do you even send a text message or no text message? Nothing.
Nah, cuz.
But I think so. Going back to the book, that has been probably the biggest revelation for me. And what he does is he breaks down how to create a good habit and how to break a bad habit. So I can quickly summarize this before we can go into a discussion. So how to create a good habit? First of all, make it very obvious. So make it easy for yourself to not watch TV, or make it easy for yourself to not snack, or to go to the gym, for example. Just make it very obvious and clear. So when you're waking up, you're not even having to think through it. Then the second part is to create a good habit is make it attractive. So try and combine the habit with something that you enjoy doing, because the more that you enjoy it, the more easier it becomes, the more likely you are to stick to it. The third one is to make it easy. So reduce as much friction as you can. So if you're wanting to go to the gym in the morning more and more, in the morning, get your gym kit packed, ready to go the night before. So when you're up, there's no friction. There's no, I need to spend time to find my trainers to do all of that. You've taken the friction out and your bag's ready to go. So you've made it a lot simpler. And then in the end, make it satisfying. As long as what you're trying to do, you know that the end goal, you know where it's going to get you. It's just a lot easier to keep this good habit in your life. And small habit changes can really have a long-term impact. To try and keep that motivation, I think, is more of a short-term strategy. And this is what he says as well, short-term strategy. Whereas if you change your habits and improve 1% every day, then you'll see the long-term benefits from it as well. Pete, is there, because I know you've also read the book, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes.
It's not your. No, I'm gonna say, Pete. It's not your book review.
No, but if he's read it, I don't mind doing a joint venture. So go ahead, Pete.
I think he's happy because it's the first book he ain't read that's like a picture book and 10 pages long.
Oh my god!
Daniel. Hey, run that one again, innit? Heard a little mutter. What's going on?
I said, no, you're happy because it's the first book that you've read that isn't a picture book and it's more than 10 pages long.
This guy is a joker.
So actually, Pete, I was just saying.
All I wanted to do is I wanted to throw out some points I wrote down, and then you can complement, so we can go back and forth.
Sure.
But the first one, and
so should I go?
Why would you go?
Because you said back and forth between the two of you.
No, I think okay. Well then,
I'm playing.
Go ahead.
Sure. Remember this one. So the first one it opened up with, I wrote down, was it actually said, forget about goals, focus on systems instead. Because it was like goals determine where you want to go. System allows you to continue playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but that was just so it was almost like, I mean, how much time do we spend thinking about what we want to achieve, how big, what we want to achieve, in which areas, as opposed to what are the systems that's going to take to get me there?
When you talk about, when you say systems, just so that I make sure, is it sort of like, you know, whenever you think about a goal, you need to create it in actionable items to reach that goal? And is it that a lot of people set a goal and just all they think about is go, versus saying, okay, what are the actionable steps I need to achieve to hit that goal? And then actually attacking that one by one, as we mentioned, like a small atomic, like a small.
Yes, I think there's so like the systems, for example, say like in James Clear, at one stage he wanted to become a better writer, right? And everyone may have the goal of, I want to be a world famous writer where I'm developing or releasing articles and publishing a book, etc. Now, that would have been the goal. Now, if he was just focused on the goal, maybe he would have had a certain level of success. But instead, he focused on the system of, okay, so that means every week I think every week, he needs to publish on the internet an article of whatever length, but that's the system of if I continue to do this every week, then that will get me to the end goal. So that's kind of where he's saying focus on the system of how you're going to get there rather than just the end goal the whole time. Because if you continue to do this 1% every week and it has the compounding effect, then eventually you get to the same goal anyway.
So the same is like the actionable items that you can do that will reach you to the
consistently as well.
Yeah, consistently that will reach you to the goal. Okay,
yeah,
got it. Cool. P.
No, it's just a couple of things there. It says, as I mentioned before, the purpose of setting goals is to win the game. The purpose of building systems is to continue playing the game. If you're having trouble with changing your habits, the problem isn't you. The problem is your systems. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So, some powerful words there. But yeah, definitely actionable items.
Cool.
And actually, one other thing to add is with goals as well, which I found he has a funny take on it. Because with goals, all winners and losers actually have the same goals most of the time. Someone who wants to have, say, like 1 million units in his property portfolio, someone probably with 100,000 units may have that same goal as someone who has actually 0 units. So having a bigger goal doesn't actually change anything in terms of where you're trying to go for. But what really changes is the systems that you put in place to get to the results. It's the actionable items that you mentioned, Olu, consistently in place to get to the goals. So having these goals actually is okay to a certain extent of kind of pushing yourself, but what system do you have in place of actually getting there? And that's the thing that makes the biggest difference.
The second, just to run these things off, it's just really to give a preview of the book, and I recommend that every single listener buys this book because I think it's one of the best books today on the market with relation to habits. The second one, which was also very interesting for me, it says build identity-based habits. So it's decide on who you want to be, and then look at and then build habits associated with what you want to be. Because I think what it's basically trying to say is harmonize who you want to be with your habits. And I don't know if we've taken the time out to look at the connection between the two. So I thought that was a sort of again, another way of picking my brain and thinking, I've never looked at it that way. I've got a point here, which was, I thought also very powerful. It says, change the perspective. Because, I mean, let's keep it real. A lot of this stuff to a lot of people, and sometimes also us, is very boring and mundane. It's like, I know I want to improve, but habits, I got to do it every day, etc. What this says, it says, change the perspective on habits. So, for example, waking up early is no, people don't want to do it. It's just long. But the reason why is because they haven't attached why waking up early it works for them. So what it says is that whatever habits you know you need to start doing, attach to that habit why you should do it. So for example, it says I wake up early to get closer towards my vision. Now you're starting to attach what you're and you're verbalizing it, what you are trying to get out of your journey towards that small win in the morning. And because that changes, if I say to myself now, it's a Tuesday morning and it's September, and I'm waking up at 4, it doesn't feel, if I say I'm waking up early to get closer to my vision, now it's more powerful.
Yeah.
Other thing it said, I don't know if some of you guys may have done this, it says make a contract and have an accountability partner. I think accountability partner is something that
is key.
We can talk about this on another episode, but I think that it's the success for other people on the outside of the fence is the accountability partner.
We talked about this on the goal set.
Yeah,
when we did that episode on goal set and how important it is to have someone to hold you accountable. Because a lot of times when we set goals, we keep it to ourselves. So I know most of us in this group, there's a level of wanted to ego, if you want to call it that, in terms of whatever you say you do, the say do ratio sort of thing. So if you tell me, hey, Olu, I want to purchase a house by the end of the year, every time I talk to you, P, I'm going to be like, yo, so what's going on with this? So what's going on with this? Which will force you to say, okay, let me start working on it, because I don't want to have to, the next time I see Olu, I don't want to have to be like, here's what it is. So yeah, accountability partner is really important.
And even the waking up early thing, I don't know if we've spoken about. Well, I think it started actually from a challenge that we discussed on the podcast. But Pabilo and myself, we've been having this Monday to Friday challenge. I know Pabilo's carrying it over the weekends, of waking up before 5. And For me, this is actually something that I've started to want to do since the beginning of the year. But it was only until, how long have we been doing it now, P?
About 3.5 months, maybe 4 now.
Yeah, the last 4 months is when I've been consistently doing it, apart from when I was a bit sick, because of the fact that I know that if I don't wake up and show Pabilo that I've woken up before 5, or vice versa, then we owe the other person 20 francs. So if you do that, if you miss that 5 times in a week, that's 100 francs already gone.
But I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That is a true game changer for you guys. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
when I wake up at 7 o'clock,
Yeah.
I look at and later on in the day, I look at my phone, and you guys have started a small community. It's not just you guys, but like the listeners, some of our listeners, jumped on the challenge.
Yeah.
So like what you guys are doing with that waking up at 4:30, really game changer. And like, congratulations, guys. I don't always give you guys the props when you do.
No, you do. No. But Olu does.
Honestly, this is when I'm like, yo, this is big.
Yeah, Olu's reached out to me and said, yo, you need to keep this going. What I will say is in the first, I don't know, 10, 15 days, it's tough. But now it gets to a point where it's automatic. So it doesn't seem, if you look at it now, it's this guy's still waking up at 4. It's like waking up for anyone else at 7 o'clock. So it's just getting used to it. But yeah, I think accountability partner is some. But now what's interesting, because we know this works, we are now trying to apply this in other areas. So we've got other things that we're trying to do and say, look, if we don't, by the way, what Shuwel forgot to mention was that the money goes towards charity. So by the end of the month, we stack up, and whoever owes whoever what, that goes to charity. So it's a win-win. We get better, and also charity benefits. We're now thinking about how we can actually play this game in other areas as well. So for example, we play it bigger. We've all got goals to secure certain deals by the end of the year. If you don't get those deals done, you owe the other person, it could be 500, 1,000. We haven't decided yet. But why? At the end of the day, you could say, oh yeah, you're raising the stakes. But if it works, do it.
100%. Right, guys. So we want to leave some of the book for the listeners in case they haven't read it. So just to repeat the name and the author. So it's called Atomic Habits, and it's by James Clear. An easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. Very practical and very useful.
Nah, I'm gonna order it now, sure. I'm getting my phone. I'm gonna order it right now.
Boom.
So thank you for listening. If you have any feedback for us, please reach out to us on Instagram at Take Flight Podcast or Gmail at takeflightpodcast@gmail.com.
Take off, take flight with you. For we never fly, but